welcome to AutoSave. My name is Camille Salazar-Hadaway, and I'm here with my co-host, Mr. Nick Andrade. Hello, Nick.
I see it in your episode 7 outline. You have the co-host with the mostest, but because I commented on it last episode, you just decided to ignore it because I guess I hurt your feelings about it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm never doing it again. Apparently, you don't like when I compliment you and repeat the compliments over and over again because I just copied and pasted the first half of my script.
You know what? So do I.
We are continuing our dive into Gotham Knights, and on last week's episode,
you've been planning to take over the League for years.
Decades. I have a clarity of vision that my father lacked. Without him, the League can reach its full potential.
You can kill him yourself and save us some trouble.
I didn't need to.
I'd tell you to leave, but somehow I don't think you're going to.
The Orchard Hotel was just the beginning. Our work in Gotham will serve as a beacon, a warning of what is to come. In a torrent of blood, we will purge corruption from this city, then the world.
I can see monologuing runs in the family. Trust me, it's not that intimidating.
Then I won't waste your time. I've only let you live this long because you were useful.
a betrayal was revealed as Talia pulled one over on the Batfamily and murdered Jacob Kane. I got really dramatic there for some reason, but
love it.
It was kind of like if Clue was not to have the whole mystery stuff behind it, I feel like it would be really dramatic as I just read it right now. But yes, Talia killed Jacob Kane. Jacob Kane, we think, is full dead because, I mean, we saw him get stabbed in the chest by an arrow. And we didn't get to throw the book at him. I was really looking for, you know, like in those sitcoms, those law sitcoms, where you have the lawyer or the cop just be like, throw him the book. I was looking to say that as I saw them like put Jacob Kane in handcuffs and have him sent to jail, but I didn't get that opportunity.
Throw the book at him.
Yeah.
Also, Talia, I think we didn't mention this in the last episode, but I know that we probably thought Talia had something to do with it, but her character was just like this whole time we try to get information from her. She's always like, leave me alone. I'm out of here. Leave me alone. I'm out of here. But then at the end, she's like, ha, ha, ha. Actually, I've been getting you to do all my dirty work this whole time. But realistically, we barely talked to her. We kind of did this, like she didn't help us on our trail, really. I guess she gave us little tidbits here and there. But for the most part, we did most of the work.
We did, honestly. And that was kind of her, like in the last episode, we heard her tell our characters that we love being useful, right? She did use the heck out of us. And when you think back to it, it's like, why did we as the Bat family just allow her to do all this? Like, we didn't say, hey, Talia, can you find out the voice of the court for us and just report back? Like, divide and conquer.
And you know, like how most stories are so convoluted in terms of how they get from one point to the other.
Yeah.
And like a plan, like let's say a plan was in motion, like, it was my plan all along. But this whole plan, basically Talia, this whole time got us to finally arrest Jacob Kane so that he could be out in public getting arrested so that she could shoot an arrow at him. That's all that, like, I'm just like perplexed. Is like her plan was to like, okay, we're going to get them to infiltrate the Court of Owls so that we can get Jacob Kane to come out in public while he's getting arrested. So then we can shoot him with an arrow right when he's outside of the cop car. Perfect.
Yeah. She was really just planning all of this so she could stand on the rooftop and get served major lines by Barbara Gordon because she wanted to tell her little monologue.
Right.
I just now picture Talia like at the end of all of our interactions before this reveal. She like as she left, she was just like tee. Like her kept secret is that she's gonna betray us later. So she's like, you don't know. So yes, we did learn that Talia had this ploy to take over the League of Shadows from her father and really step into the limelight because she felt her father was not putting the attention where it was necessary for the League's cause. And now she is going to bring a reckoning, she says, to Gotham. So we're going to have to see what that really entails, because I'm hoping that someone will be put in jail so I could finally just say, you're going to throw the book at them. So I'm hoping maybe that'll be Talia. We'll find out in this chapter.
Who's going to say the line, though? Who do you
Oh,
think's gonna
none
say
of
the
them.
line?
It's going to be me as I'm playing.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah.
a character was. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say it for my own
Gotcha.
personal growth as a detective that feels like they could be a part of the Bat family.
Fair enough.
Now, Nick, we talked about allies prior. Like, obviously we're here in Gotham Knights. It's all about the allies of Batman. So I have to ask you, okay, as a superhero, sometimes you're put into some tough situations where you have to make tough decisions. So if the Bat family was put into a trap, but you could only save 2, okay, who would you save? And I'm going to extend the Bat family a little bit. So we're going to have Alfred,
Yep.
Jason, Dick, Barbara, Tim, Damian, Terry, as in Terry McGinnis, and Ace the Bat Hound. You could only save 2, Nick.
So,
You could
first of
only
all,
save 2. Yes.
I thought I was a big Batman fan. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I do not know who Terry is.
What? You know
Who's
Terry.
Terry McGinnis?
Batman Beyond. Batman Beyond.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That's
God.
his name. I completely forgot.
It's
I
okay.
haven't watched Batman Beyond in forever, and also haven't read any comics
Yeah.
in a long, long time that I remembered that his name was Terry. Holy crap. I'm sorry, audience.
It's okay.
Wow, that's just
It's all
bad.
right. It's okay. I'm bringing back some members from the future, or actually not from the past. I'm bringing members back to the past that are in the future because Batman Beyond
Right.
took place in the future.
Right.
Anyways.
Right. I mean, as a dog owner, I would love to save a dog. Like, you can't, like, not save Ace.
Hey, I'm not judging, but I would have judged you if you didn't select Ace.
So realistically, like humans, animals, definitely saving the animal.
So then that really leaves one
does.
person.
Which makes that really hard for me. So you know what? I'm sorry, Ace, but I'm actually not going to choose the dog. You could buy another dog.
Can I just wait, pause. Nick is a dog owner. That's all I have to say. Nick owns a dog.
But listen, I'm thinking as if I'm Batman, okay? Okay? If I'm Batman, who am I going to save? I'm going to save my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have my adopted family who are, my Bat family, right? There's Barbara, Dick, Jason, Tim. Okay, but I'm not going to save any of those.
Yes.
I'm going to save one, my blood, which is Damien.
Okay.
I'm going to save my son first and foremost. And then I'm going to save my trusted sidekick from when I was a little boy, who is basically my father figure, which is Alfred. So it's Damien and Alfred as Batman. Now, as Nick, if Nick Andrade is doing this, then yes, I am saving Ace the Hound, 1. And then I haven't even decided yet, so I'm making this decision on the fly. But I got to save Damien because he's probably a kid at that point. So yes, I would also save Damien again as Nick.
Okay, he is a kid. That's true. I wasn't going to save Damien. He could be very bratty, okay? So
Right.
I was just going to be like, this probably serves you right. But yes, he is a kid. So I guess I have to help him. But then I do have to help Ace.
Right.
I mean, Alfred, I would love to help, but I mean, let's face the facts. He is older. He's lived a long life, and he probably will have a heart attack as I'm saving him because he's so old.
Wow.
Like, you don't know when that clock of life is ticking. So I would love to give the opportunity to someone that has a more full scope of life. And hey, I feel if you don't save Jason, like, you didn't save him the first time.
That's true. Like, you have a chance now to save Jason again, but Batman still doesn't save Jason. That would really be a Dick Grayson move, to be honest.
That is so bad. So I'm going to go with Ace the Bat Hound and Jason Todd because, I mean, tragedy does not deserve to hit twice for him. Not at all.
So is that you picking as Cam, or is that also like what's your Batman choice?
That's me picking as Cam. As Batman, I mean, yeah, he would probably go Alfred and Ace the Bat Hound. I think dependent on if he knows Damien's his son. Damien's also bratty and like
his child.
Maybe he doesn't know yet, okay? I'm going Alfred and Ace if I were Batman. There you go.
This question is perfect for this episode right here because Talia, like I feel like every I don't know, hero arc, I guess, you either have a couple things that go on that we hear about. One is their parents either are dead, okay, and they're orphans, or one of their parents is dead, or like a father figure, mother figure, whatever. Two, then you got people killing their family members, which is a very Game of Thrones-ish type of thing, but like Talia kills her father. You got to really be such a horrible person.
Part
to
of
kill
her
your
blood
father.
is in Damien, Wayne. Would you want to save him? He may have the same tendencies.
Right. Yes. Get him a Lazarus pit and then maybe turns on Batman. That's a good point.
Right.
That's a good point.
That may have just been the universe providing a solution to a problem in the future. That's all I'm going to say for Batman. But I'm curious to know who everyone else would choose in this. So be sure to hit us up at AutoSave Pod on socials. Now, in this episode, titled The League of Shadows, rightfully so, we are going face to face with the League and going to see if we could hold Talia accountable.
Knew we couldn't trust her. We had Jacob in custody. We were finally gonna bring him in.
And now, she's got everything she needs to start the next phase of her plan.
She'll go after our allies first, to keep us out of the way.
Exactly. That's why I already sent them a warning. Lucius is holing up in a secure location with a small security team. And Montoya's scrambling people she trusts.
It won't be enough. They'll die without our help.
League attacks. All over the city. It's already started.
It's already started. The reckoning is here that Talia warned us all about. And let's just face it, apparently she was waiting for us to get Jacob Kane in front of everyone in public to stab him in the chest with an arrow. But she was not waiting to attack Gotham. She just jumps right into that. Very interesting.
I love how you said that she was warning us for a reckoning that she's causing.
Yeah, exactly.
What an asshole. Damn.
And everything's in motion. We know that she's targeting the Bat family's allies. And I kind of like, I like in this part how Alfred is like, somehow she knows who's friendly. Come on, Alfred, your comms have been hacked so many times. Of course she knows who you're talking to.
The comms have been hacked, and also like the comms never work half the time too.
Yeah.
Belfry, you there, Belfry? Guess it's just me alone.
And also, we've been telling her everything we're doing. So, of course, she knows who our allies are. We literally told her because we thought she was on our side.
My theory, okay, that Bruce is still alive and this is a test to just challenge the Bat family. I think it's true because they seem pretty sloppy with everything that they're doing.
It is looking like a possibility, that's for sure. Now, for this section, it's called A Friend in Need. And for some reason, when I think of this, and this is not sponsored by Puffs, but there was this commercial growing up. Okay. You know, Puffs, the tissue paper brand?
Yep.
Their slogan was like, a friend in need deserves puffs indeed. And it was always in like a British accent. Yeah. So as soon as I started playing this, I just kept saying that in my head on it like over and over again.
I was just going with the Toy Story angle for me.
Oh,
yeah,
that makes sense.
You got a friend in need. Okay, sorry, we can't. I don't know if we copyright that. Maybe the producers have to delete it.
Scratch all that out. Yeah, just scratch all that out. But yeah, for this section, a friend in need, we pretty much have to save Lucius Montoya and or Dr. Tompkins. I was like Tompkins. Tompkins. And you could go in any order you like. So stop laughing.
Who has the last name Thompkins?
Hey, Nick.
Dr. Thompkins. Paging Dr. Thompkins. Sorry, I just I snorted a little bit there too.
You did. That's what made me laugh so hard. I'm like tearing up. But hey, someone could definitely have a last name Thompkins. Maybe the Thwomps. Thwomp in Mario. Thwompkins, paging Dr. Thwompkins. It's no. Yeah, I really tried there. But with this one, who did you save? Lucius, Montoya, or Tompkins?
Who did I save?
First.
Oh, Lucius. It was Lucius first.
Yeah.
Because he's my boy. And then Montoya, because we have that connection from the GCPD. She's helping us out. And then Dr. Thompkins. Last, because you know, we just been doing some organ stuff together, you know, giving her some organs here and there, but like the connection wasn't real, so she gets saved last.
You made it sound like we're smuggling organs. Like we gave her some organs.
Well, sorry, saved some organs that were actually being smuggled by some gangs.
Yes, we are not. The Bat family was not doing this smuggling of the organs. But yeah, I went Lucius as well. Lucius is my boy. So let's start there. So for this one, you actually have to head to Foxteca, to the rooftop, where you're going to see Lucius is behind a force field when you use your AR goggles. And I really do find the AR goggles kind of hilarious because you could see like their orange outlines and like just the motions that they're making when they're trying to hide. And it's not realistic. But that's besides the point. The League is there trying to shut down or actually hack into a few computer consoles. So you have to try to stop them before they get to the computers so the percentage doesn't reach 100%. We've kind of done these missions a few times before. I didn't really find this too hard. The only tough thing you kind of have to keep in mind is to get them away from the computers. So if you're taking on like the Rocketeers, for example, you want to make sure no one else is by any of those two computers. How'd you find this one, Nick?
Pretty easy, but again, like anytime you're facing the shadows, like they're pretty difficult in general. So it is kind of annoying, but not too difficult.
Not too difficult at all. But once we go through that, we save him.
Thank you. I thought I was a goner for a second there.
Will you be all right?
I'll be fine. I called Foxteca. Another team should be here soon. Then I'll have some phone calls to make. If I'd known what would happen.
But you didn't. We'll make the League regret what they did.
And there we go. We have another ally that is not afraid of anything and just says that they'll just wait right there. They're good. Don't need any.
A friend's coming to
help
pick them up. A friend
on the
friend is
rooftop.
coming to pick them up.
Yeah, on the rooftop.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think this is like they just don't want the Bat family to give them a ride anywhere.
No, like you said, Uber, like they don't want it.
Yeah, they don't want it. So now we actually head over to Detective Montoya at the GCPD Major Crimes Unit. And when you arrive, the same deal, you use your AR to scan the area where you'll find 4 cops that are about to be attacked. So you have to protect them. This is kind of weird because there's like these 4 badges that appear on your screen that indicate the health levels of the 4 cops, but like they don't really help you identify which cop is to which badge, or do they? Did you find yourself, because I found myself just kind of like grappling around to just keep like my eyes on them because I didn't know whose health bar was who?
No, same. I did the exact same thing. It's such a minute detail too. So especially in this mission, it's not like super direct. So I don't remember exactly. Well, we're the experts, so clearly I'm failing at this.
No, we're not the experts. We're just enthusiasts that like to play along with you. But yeah, so if you get closer, you kind of grapple around, then you'll actually see the health bar of the cop that's you're trying to protect that's in front of you. And then that, I think, is a better way to gauge the health of everyone. So just keep moving around and pick off enemies as they come. But once you do that, we saved Montoya.
Are you guys okay?
What the hell was that about? I thought Jacob's death was supposed to end this gang war. Now they're coming after us?
The League's getting bold. They're taking out anyone they think will stand against them.
Well, if you have any idea how to stop this, you better do it quick.
That's the plan.
Good. Commissioner Kane will want to debrief on this mess.
Have fun.
So I don't know about you, Nick, but every time, like since Jacob Kane died, I have this one burning question. Whenever I deal with Montoya,
What's that?
why are we not suspicious of Commissioner Kane?
Well, it's not that we're not suspicious. We just haven't seen Commissioner Kane much.
Montoya's not suspicious. She's still doing debriefs for this woman, which we don't even know if she was a part. Like, would you do a debrief and like give her paperwork that she would have to sign off on and like go through if you don't know if she's actually good and not associated with the stuff her husband was doing?
Well, I mean, I think she's associated 1000%. So me as the character, like I 100% think that the reason why the GCPD is so corrupt is because she's part of the Court of Owls.
Mm-hmm.
So Montoya should be more suspicious of that. However, well, I mean, she already knows that like majority of the GCPD are corrupt.
Yeah.
Which is the things that we've helped her out with before. She's one of the only good cops left.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she just has to go along with it anyway. I remember.
Like just go with the flow.
Yeah, like what is it? The podcast Batman Unburied. There's also, I think, not Barbara, but there's a detective. I'm not sure if it's Detective Montoya, but she, like the commissioner at the time, is like an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But she goes along with it, even though she's probably gonna get fired because she knows, like, well, what else am I gonna do? I'll just do the best I can as a cop, but that doesn't mean that I think that these people are indeed good. You know what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I guess she's keeping up appearances. I just find it a little weird. She's not more suspicious. But that is not our problem right now because we actually have to find Dr. Tompkins, which is correct. And where she locked herself in. We find out pretty much
Of course
she
did.
Yeah,
what is with all these characters locking themselves into places?
Yeah, she was trying to get away, kind of ambushed by the League, and had to lock herself into an ambulance. So when we find her, we see her in the ambulance, and the League has her cornered. So you have to ensure that the health of the ambulance doesn't reach below 0%. How did you find this one?
I think I failed the first time. There's been a couple of these missions where you're supposed to protect a van or a door or whatever. And I'm so caught up in fighting so many enemies at once that I forget that I was supposed to protect the door. And then I'm like, oh, it's 99%. I better go. And so I think this is one of the times where I failed because I completely forgot what the actual objective was.
Yeah. Well, I didn't fail, Nick. And that means that we saved all three of them.
Glad to see you in one piece, Dr. Tompkins.
If I can survive the freaks, I can survive this too.
Still, you should go someplace safe. Just in case.
I'm not hiding. There are people out there who need help. I'm not gonna let some idiots with swords scare me off.
If you say so. But call us if you need anything.
Will do. Thanks. Again.
Not a care in the world that there's a whole league after her because she has lives to save. Again, another person that is denying the help of the Bat family when it comes to getting them to safety.
You have to mention that we officially know that it's Dr. Tompkins now through that.
Yes, we know it's Dr. Tompkins, but I'm still going to call her Dr. Tompkins because that's like hilarious. But yeah, she again decides to stay back. She's really happy that we saved her. But guess what, Nick?
What?
We didn't have to save her. Do you know that?
No? Why?
We actually only had to save 2 allies of the 3.
But is that true? Because I don't remember it saying for us to go back to the Belfry after the 2.
You could go back to the Belfry.
So you can just go back to the Belfry and you're good?
Yeah, and then in a conversation, like pretty much the other one escapes the League.
Oh, so if we don't have to do it, they still escape anyway.
The one. You have to do at least 2.
Right, but I'm saying like I helped all 3, but now I'm realizing that even if like one of them doesn't die, like it's not like they die because of we didn't help them.
No.
I wish I knew that. That could have saved me some time.
I know.
Awesome.
I would have just based on their responses of not wanting our help, I was almost ready to be like, you know what? Forget the next person. I'm not going to help them.
Exactly.
And I wish I did, because then I would have found out we didn't actually need that third person to save. But you know what? We're the good guys. We're the good guys. So we did save everyone, and we head back to Belfry.
So, this is weird.
Weird like undead Talons coming back to life, or weird like... How do I keep losing this freaking game?
Weird, like there was this reroute situation that I was tracking. But then there were fluctuations, and now, I think I found Talia.
What were you tracking?
At first it looked like nothing, but now...
Whoa. That's a lot of power that's been siphoned. Not necessarily definitive, except...
Except?
The power was diverted... here.
Isn't Arkham empty? Like, you know... collapsed?
It has been for a couple of years. And with our missing ninja friend...
Here. She's only been there for a few weeks. Maybe it won't be too bad.
Or, this is a trap. She's too good to just let us find her.
But we have a lead.
We do have a lead.
Yeah.
Talia wasn't here just to mess with us. She's got something else up her sleeve.
Well, guess it's time to go back to that asbestos-encrusted shithole.
I think that's my new favorite line.
I think Jason has the best lines in all of this game so far.
He is hilarious.
He is.
Hilarious. But yeah, so we have to head to Arkham Asylum, which we find out has been closed for quite some time. And pretty much, I guess Talia has been holding up there without anyone knowing, I guess. But this kind of screams danger. Like, danger, danger, don't do it, don't go. Get someone else to do it. Befriend them, let them go, because this is probably a trap.
An abandoned insane asylum? Who knew? Who knew? Although I am disappointed that it is abandoned. I was hoping that we went there. It would have been like a, you know, high security version of the Arkham Asylum right now. And then we could have maybe seen some like Easter eggs along the way. And then we find out like we've done normally in this game is find some random cave that is underneath the ground of Asylum. And that's where Talia is maybe hiding. And then we could kind of go through Arkham and then see some cool villains that we have not seen in this game.
Well, maybe we'll be able to find some Easter eggs. You go to Gotham, and it's scary as hell. I don't even think I realized there was a cemetery next to Arkham Asylum because it looks really, really creepy. Like, it's giving me some Addams Family vibes.
I had just watched an episode, the first episode of Wednesday the other day, so it kind of gives me the same kind of Addams Family typey vibes as well.
Yeah, it is creepy. You don't want to be, and my character, I don't know if this is the same for you and with Nightwing, but Batgirl is like, they're talking ghosts. She's talking to Tim about there's ghost in here. Like, so it's scary. They know it's scary. So you head in and you have to go to the solarium where you'll be able to find a lab that is set up by the League and Talia and the League. And it looks like they're trying to continue Langstrom's experiment. And apparently he was working with the League. Talk about a conflict of interest. I thought he might have been working for the Owls because when we first saw him being hunted down or whatever, remember like that mission where we found the guy pinned to the wall and then we had to find Langstrom, and then it turned out that the court was after. I thought he was working with the court and like things kind of went awry with them. I didn't know he was working with the League, but I might have missed that.
No, but now that I'm thinking, like the whole start of the game, Langstrom was pinned up, like, you know, when the court kills somebody.
I thought it was because he betrayed the court. Like he was working with the court and he betrayed them.
I think I understand now, maybe, now that we're talking through this. So he worked for the League, right? And the court knew that, and then I guess wanted to kill him. No, but then he was doing experiments for the Talons, wasn't he?
That's what I thought.
So he was working with both of them?
He was a double agent.
So maybe that's why he got killed.
Maybe. He was trying to,
right.
I think, you know, in true Gotham fashion, he was trying to make the most out of his services and get cash from both players, and it kind of bit him.
Kind of bit him? I think it really bit him.
Yeah, I mean, he did.
He did.
He did. Now, after interacting, when you go into the lab, you'll see a containment pod and you can interact with that. And then it'll kind of draw your attention to a desk where you would have to go into investigation mode. This is usually the mode where Nick likes to guess a lot what you're supposed to do. But I have to say, Nick, I just randomly tried stuff because I had no idea what to do here.
Is this the tubes?
This is the tubes, yes.
Like the potion tubes or whatever they're
Yes,
called. Whatever
yes.
they are. Yes. There's 4 and there's 4. What do you think I did? Process of elimination. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, and then I think it was the third one from left to right. And I forget which one's second to left or something like that. And yeah, and then I figured it out. I wasn't gonna read it. I don't have time to read these things when I could just twiddle my thumbs, and select the right answer. Plead my ignorance on that, but if it's easy, I'll find a way to do it.
Pretty sure that's not the easier way, but yes, I did do that as well. We could probably just spend like extra minute just reading everything, but I was just kind of like, these tubes are super intimidating. I don't even know where to start with this puzzle. Let me just randomly try things. And that's what you do. Once you solve it, you'll find out that actually Talia was continuing Langstrom's research on human testing with League volunteers. And then they somehow got stronger and also survived some sort of sonic test, which we don't really know what that is about. But while we're investigating, Arkham loses power. Kind of creepy in this creepy place that may or may not have ghosts. Then we actually have to head down to the old maximum security wing, which is in the basement, which screams horror movie, don't do it, but we're going to do it. So you head down there to turn on the power. Everything seems gravy until you turn back to go to the main hall the way you came and go back to the lab because you'll find the path is actually blocked. So you have to take a detour, which then finds you in the courtyard where you'll meet Rocketeers and Assassin. So they'll appear, you take them out, and then you actually notice that there's a light in the top tower of Arkham Asylum. So that kind of hints to the next place to go. Once you head in back to Arkham, you'll see an elevator shaft that you could grapple up to, and then you could go up to the tower there as well. And there's another puzzle here. You'll see a lot of radio devices and frequencies. This puzzle, again, very intimidating at first glance.
Yeah, again, maybe this is bad that I don't read the instructions, but you have to switch or flick the switches basically.
Yeah.
And they all have to equal out to the frequency that's green, I guess, which seemed easy enough. And I kept doing it, and then it would all go green, and then it would have to restart again. Mm-hmm. And I was confused as to what I was doing wrong. And after a few times of it happening, and then me going down and then going back up to make sure that I didn't miss anything, grapple back up. And then I realized that the order that we see on the screen of the frequencies is the order that we have to activate each TV. Just like we did, I think, in a previous episode as well. There's been a few puzzles like that where you have to do it in order of how you see it.
Yeah, the pictures, when the buildings were made,
So it's the same thing in the order of where you see the frequencies. I did that. Bingo. Solved.
I did the same thing where I was flicking them on and then I realized, oh, something's not right. Follow that pattern of the frequency in the order that it shows on the main computer screen, the central screen in the room. And then you'll be good. You'll actually unlock all the frequencies. And then you learn that the sonic test that these League volunteers survived were actually attempts to control the volunteers, which is very similar to the Court of Owls, right? Because that was the whole thing that Langstrom was doing with the owls. So he was literally just selling all of his research with the owls to the League.
So my assumption is I thought that's what they were talking about. They were talking about those talons. I didn't realize it was also the League.
And what do you mean they were talking about the talons? What?
Like, you know how Langstrom, the volunteers for the talons, but they were also doing that for the League as well?
No. So these volunteers, because Talia picked up the research that Langstrom was doing, these volunteers are only League volunteers. not Talons. These ones that were doing the sonic testing. But what it is when Langstrom, we found him dead, pinned up, we learned that his experiments were trying to learn how to control the Talons for the League. So he literally used his research from the beginning of the game to sell it to the League so they could do whatever they want. Like, he was actually playing more into this battle between the two groups, which good job, Langstrom. Sorry you're dead.
Got murdered. Okay.
Yeah. Now we hear a sound that sounds like it's coming from the basement. So we actually have to head down to the lab, and we find that the containment pod that was there before is now broken. Saved my game immediately. Sounds like a boss fight. This is just no good.
I never saved my game once, actually. I don't even remember where the save point is. I just keep going. And I thought it auto-saved the entire time. So I was like,
it does auto-save.
I thought it auto-saved. Woo! Is this the first time we ever said auto-save on auto-save? Yeah.
No, whenever I feel like there's a boss fight coming on, I need to like double check. I think it's like, you know, as a kid, especially if you grew up in the 90s, 2000s, save points weren't as frequent, or you didn't have the freedom to save wherever you wanted to.
No.
So my worst fear in a game is like getting to a point that's really difficult and then having to start over again.
Right.
It happened to me. Final Fantasy VII Remake. The house.
Oh, yeah.
So close to beating it. Died last minute. Had to start that whole battle again, and it's a long one.
That's a long. Yeah, if you don't know what the mechanics are, like I did the first time, yeah, that's a long. I feel bad.
It's a long one. Yeah. So save if you can. So we find out that there is a boss fight, and it is revealed that Man-Bat is here, or should I say Dr. Langstrom. Langstrom, or Man-Bat, was in the pod, and now we have to fight him. I kind of like this cutscene because he just flies down, then swoops you away and takes you to like this little, like, it's not the courtyard, but like a little arena type. I guess it is the courtyard. It is the courtyard, I think. And you have to battle him out. How did you find this battle with Man-Bat?
It was a fun one. I didn't assume it was Langstrom, though. I just thought it was another experiment. I still assume that he's dead.
Man-Bat is Langstrom.
I know, but what if he created like multiple Man-Bats?
Oh, so you're thinking this may
like
be
through
another
volunteers?
Man-Bat. Okay, I guess so.
Does that make sense? But I don't know yet because we saw him dead. So who is that body, right?
Yeah,
that's my only like thought process. But the fight itself
is true.
A little different from a lot of the other fights we've had because the mechanics are different. Man-Bat flies around. You have to dodge that. So I enjoyed this one more so than some others.
Yeah, this one was really enjoyable, but also really, really long. And you have to evade his attacks. You have to watch out for his barrel roll. He does a lunge and then like a combo something, swooping attack things. And you really have to find those openings between each attack to try to get some hits in, but it like barely does damage. So that's why it's so long.
Also, I don't know, the mechanics of the fight, like you have to constantly spam to evade because it has so many, like the timing is, it almost seems like it's off. Like, yes, I know if you fight it a few times, you can probably get the timing right, but it just seems like the mechanics of this Man-Bat attack specifically, it's like 7 or 8 attacks in a row. And that gets exhausting to evade so many attacks. Like just maybe just have a more cadence to the fight, I guess.
I think that's fair, but unfortunately it isn't like that. You do have to kind of stick this one out. And then also if you have health packs, please keep them as long as you can. Don't just like use them if you have a little bit of health gone. It's very long. But once you defeat this boss, Man-Bat, it is the end of the chapter. And then after this, we'll break down our final thoughts.
Protecting people runs in my veins. It's what I do. No matter what alias I go by. That's who I am. That's who I'll always be. As long as there are people who need me.
I'm certain you already know what must be done.
There's a Lazarus pit somewhere in Gotham. Wherever it is, Talia and her league won't be far. Time to put an end to this.
It is time to not put an end to this, but let's discuss this chapter.
Yeah.
For this chapter, I feel like it was a lot shorter than I expected, especially because it is named the League of Shadows. I thought there would have been more of a build-up, a fight with Talia. We did not get this here, but it was still jam-packed with lots of action.
Yeah, and I think I was surprised because I think there's only one main mission after this one. So I was surprised that this one was still us trying to figure something out and investigate something. I thought it would be more of a crescendo into like some sort of fight, which I know we got Man-Bat, but it just seemed like there was another problem to solve rather than the problem that we're already trying to solve. If that makes sense.
No, it does make sense because I feel like especially after the assault on Kane Industries, it was such a buildup with all these drones, lots of action, and then you have that like twist, Jacob Kane's dead, you chase Talia, twist, reveal, she's bad. I thought we were going more like, yes, this is the end, like we're getting there. But then it kind of like feels like a filler chapter, which is weird to find right before the end of the game.
That's a good point. It, like chapter 6 was so strong in those reveals and those twists, and then it goes back into like one of the regular, first couple missions where it's like investigate this, what's going on with that. And I know it was cool to go to Arkham Asylum. However, it would just again felt like a fetch quest / side mission / it didn't seem, I don't know, grand of scale, where I think at this point in the game, we're looking for it to escalate even further than we've already seen it. So yeah, that's a good point. A little short and kind of underwhelming, but it was cool to see Man-Bat. You know what I mean? That was the one thing.
Well, and that's the thing. This boss battle was, I feel very fulfilling. I know you're a fan of the boss battles. It was a little long, but I feel like having a huge villain like this unexpectedly shows up. That's one of the things I really did love about the Arkham series, is that you were able to find all of these different Batman villains and they would just like make cameo appearances. You have a quick battle with them and then that's it. They didn't really have to contribute to the main storyline. So far, everyone that we've encountered has contributed to the main storyline. Even Harley, even though that's not, we haven't seen her in a while. But Man-Bat, I feel like, yes, if this is the Man-Bat, that's Dr. Langstrom, does technically contribute to the story, but then the battle isn't like a buildup. It just happens. And I'm good with that.
I just think, too, if we look at it boss fight-wise, I feel like this entire game, the main story at least, haven't had that many boss fights. The boss fights that I've known, and we'll get to it in future episodes, is most of the side quests. Clayface, Mr. Freeze, Harley, those are boss fights in those side stories. But if you look at the main story, so far, who have we come across that's really been a boss fight?
Yeah.
I can't even recall, like, other than Man-Bat.
Yeah, it would be more like the Rocketeers when we see them. Like when they are revealing the newer Talons or the newer League enemies, we usually have one boss fight with them, and then that's kind of it.
Yeah.
And then we see them regularly. That's actually a really good point. Speaking of bosses, this game is setting up as we head into the last chapter. It looks like Talia is going to be the main boss battle. How do you feel about that?
Good, because we've led up to that. However, I feel like right now at this point, apart from killing Jacob Kane, the court has not really been that big of an issue now. Like it just like it ended with
you mean
that.
The League?
No, the court. I'm saying the court kind of, that storyline has fizzled out. After, and I understand that Jacob Kane died, but I was expecting this kind of really big clash between the League and the court. And I know that the court doesn't have Kane anymore, but I thought that would fuel the fire a little bit more in this war. And I feel like now that storyline just kind of ended, and now it's just strictly the League and strictly Talia.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like even if they wanted to go the route of killing Kane, maybe there was a second in command that, like, where is the... I guess I'm looking for some retaliation from the Court of Owls because they did lose the voice of the court, their main guy that orchestrated everything. But I guess maybe they're so secretive, we don't actually realize that maybe Jacob Kane's role here as the voice of the court is not really that impactful to the court, if that makes sense. They are so ingrained in how everything functions that even losing one member still makes things go ahead, so they don't pay any mind. I don't know.
It'd be disappointing if we don't hear more from the court by the end of this game. So we'll see. We have one main mission more to go, but if that just ends it for the court, I would think it would be underwhelming considering how strong of a storyline the court has had in recent years. So we'll see.
Yeah. We will see, but we will have to wait to see. As always, thank you for listening to this episode, as well as thanks to the team behind the podcast, Greg, Dylan, and Chris, that helped make this possible. Now, stay tuned, as next week's episode, we will reach a conclusion to Gotham Knights right here on AutoSave.